Now let's imagine situations that you are working on some project for medical cabinet, and you received this task to do. So you need to implement some application to determine BMI index, body mass index. And here is the information provided to you by your client. Yes, for sure, you will start with steps here. You will take a look at the problem, go through all the steps that we talked about, and you have already some experience using Chat GPT to help you to accelerate this process, to brainstorm, to format, so you know that you need to inform that you will be creating your application using Python 3. You will need to validate the input to avoid negative numbers, to avoid some other issues with the values that your user will give you as an input. You know that it's important to add comments, and you prefer to use descriptive variable names with full words to make it easier to read your code. And you will obtain something like this. So it's already a very interesting piece of code, well formatted, well commented, and not that bad already. So we will run the test and we will see this input. And what's going on here? First of all, too many numbers after the too many decimal places. So we need to think what to do with this. We have different solutions. We can use round function, or we can use string formatting to solve this issue. So this one is an easy one. But the most important thing here is that we do have an interpretation problem. Let's see. We have 24.97 or 98. And the program is saying that the person is obese. But it doesn't make sense. It maybe it's the beginning of the overweight, but not obese. So what's going on? Yes, and my screen already shows the answer. It's we have an issue of discontinuity. So when you have this kind of values with decimals, you need to verify what's going on with these values. Basically, what do we need to do with the values between this value and this one and this one? What should we do with those values, basically? How we will interpret those values. I asked this question to Chat GPT. Yes, if, for example, I don't have a lot of experience with those this kind of things, and Chat GPT gave this suggestion. We can modify the condition to include a range of values around the cutoff points where the interpretation changes. So basically, you need to check with your client what would be an acceptable solution. So do you need to include values up to 25 into normal ways, or more than this should go already as a slightly overweight? So it depends on your client decision, or on the interpretation, or scientific, or, well, it depends on the goal, how your application will be used. So, but you need to be aware of these kind of issues, the possibility. So you need to check if you are working with numbers with decimal point, to check if there is any kind of discontinuity. Okay, so this we decided that how we will change, how we will adapt. So we will have only intervals below this value, from this value up to 25, up to 30, and larger than 30, because our client decided like this, let's say. Other improvements to this first attempt initial solution would be the following. More descriptive variable names, we already did this, and we could introduce more constants. Normally, when we will start to work on larger projects, it's a good practice to separate the data from the logic of your program. So that's what we are doing. The data, interpretation, and the values we are putting at the very beginning, and that makes it much more easier to find them and to change them. And then we will be using only them as variables or as constants, as constant. Here, Chat GPT changed everything to the constants, so we can see capital letters for everything. Well, we can discuss if those are really constants or variables. Frankly speaking, I would use more as variables, not as constants, and not as constant, because they are not like they can change during the program execution, let's say. But for now, we can put them like this. For this exact solution, this could work, because we are not planning to change them for this particular problem. But, well, I would prefer to use them in a lower case. What are others? So you can see that doing like this, changing the values for the cutoff, it avoids the problem of discontinuity. All the variables are well defined here, and our code becomes much more readable and more transparent, more easy to follow. And here already, I consider that you are not that beginner, so we can avoid putting too much comments. Too much comments, they are not necessary, especially in the cases when they are repeated. So basically, only saying that here you are asking for the head in meters and validate the input, it's already a good start, or a good practice in commenting. So you do not need to comment each line if you understand, and if you are using very well descriptive variables name or constants. So you can read through this code now, and it's easy for you to change it and to read it. Yeah, basically that's it for BMI problem. Thank you.